Hello, my name is Kate Cochran. I'm CEO of Upaya Social Ventures. We are an early stage impact investor that looks for companies that can create meaningful jobs for the extreme poor. Today, I'm so happy to be here with Ekta Jaju, the CEO of ONganic Foods and the newest member of the Upaya portfolio. We're doing this series of interviews in a lead up to International Women's Day in partnership with the WadhwaniFoundation and Sattva Consulting. So let's get started with Ekta. Ekta, tell me a little bit about ONganic Foods. Why did you decide to start this company and what is the company like?
I got extremely passionate about organic food, and I do very strongly believe that it can solve a lot of the problems that small farmers face in our country. And with that, we started to work with a lot of small farmer collectives, training them on how to grow food organically. And we realized that marketing was the single largest challenge that smallholder organic farmers faced. And these lack of markets either prevented them from switching from conventional to organic, or sometimes they even switched back to conventional farming because they couldn't sell what they were growing. And so we decided to set up ONganic Foods with the idea to be able to find markets for organic products grown by smallholder farmers.
Over the last 5-6 years, I imagine you've had lots of ups and lots of downs. What were some of the initial challenges that you faced?
So initially, in my naive conception, I thought that we'd be able to find markets for what my farmers were growing in the city. I live in the city. I love to eat organic. I care about, sustainable food. And I thought there would be many like me and we could just, buy from my farmers and sell in the city. And very soon we realized that, a group of farmers can only grow so many things. And when you look at a consumer plate, they want so many things to fill up their baskets. And so they wanted this also and they wanted that also. And initially we tried to keep our customers happy and we tried to get all of those things to fill their basket. And then we suddenly realized that we were just becoming someone who was just trading products from many places, and we were really not buying enough from my own farmers or selling enough of what they were growing. And we realized that this model was not going to work for us. We started to explore the B2B space. And suddenly we realized that, that was just making sense because my farmers were growing in tons and, in the retail model, we were trying to sell in grams, which was just not making sense. So when we started to look at the B2B model, we realized that we could look at a few things that they were growing well and look to scale that up, which could also mean that on the back end, we could have more and more farmers turn organic and grow that for us. And that sort of just fit in beautifully.
Great. It sounds like the journey of so many entrepreneurs. You have to try a few different things before you pivot and find the business model that is working for you. What are some of your other learnings so far with your business?
So there are always choices on, whether we take this route or that route, should we do this or that? And I think this focus on impact sort of always helps us answer a lot of questions. And so for us, it's impact, but I think it's always important for an entrepreneur to know what are your top 3 goals and, where is it, what is it that you want to achieve in the long run. And I think that sort of helps clarify a lot of doubts or helps you choose one way over the other. And that makes life easy because otherwise there is just no way to know what to do.
That is so true. Having clarity of objective makes all of the other noise kind of fall to the wayside while you can stay focused on what you're trying to get done. Were there any of the challenges that you think you experienced related to being a woman entrepreneur?
Now, to be very honest, Kate, I'm more the optimist who finds the glass half full. But in some sense, the challenges that I thought that I did face being a woman was a lack of exposure, I think, to businesses. Though I come from a business family, but I think my understanding of business was very limited until I did some courses. I studied filmmaking, so I think also my exposure to business in that sense was not so much. So I think some of these courses helped me understand, what it means to run a business. But I think otherwise, I think I love being a woman entrepreneur. I find it very easy to ask for help. And there has never been a time when, I've not received help because I was a woman, or, someone was not willing to help out. And I think I love being a woman. I love being a woman entrepreneur.
We hear a lot of stories about the very small percentage of investment that goes to women entrepreneurs, and yet, some studies show women entrepreneurs outperform their male counterparts. Did you experience anything like that?
There are very few, you very rightly said. And I do feel that, when we're there in a room full of men, we get a lot of respect. When we're with our mentors or advisors, they're always willing to help us out. I think now there are a lot of opportunities from the government for women entrepreneurs. There's a lot of funding available. There are people who are focusing on women. So I tell a lot of women that if you want to be an entrepreneur, there has never been a better time in history than now to be a woman entrepreneur.
That is a refreshingly optimistic take, and it's wonderful to hear that that's been your experience. In 2017, Upaya made a commitment that our active portfolio would be equally balanced between women and men entrepreneurs. And it has never been a hard thing to keep it balanced in terms of the excitement and the wonderful entrepreneurs we meet. And so it's nice to have the glass half full point of view on that. Anything in particular that worked for you in your early years when you're still figuring things out and there's probably a lot more noise in your environment?
Very early on, we sort of started to work on a contract farming model with our farmers. And, before sowing, we would, discuss prices with them, take feedback from them. We would jointly decide that, this is how we would price the products. And, and then, this is the kind of requirement we're looking for them to grow. And at the end of that season, we would always buy what we committed to buy from them. There were times when it was extremely challenging. There were times because prices were high, the farmers ended up growing a lot of volume of things. And sometimes we didn't have enough money and we had to really, run helter-skelter to make sure we were able to get enough money to be able to buy all that they had grown, or, really push our sales effort to make sure that we were able to sell everything that they had grown, because for all of that. But I realized that, some of these commitments that we kept, or some of these other things that we did really helped build very strong foundations for ONganic in the agriculture community. And I think that trust, that keeping that commitment, I think some of these foundations that we laid in the initial years have been extremely helpful. And also I see the team sort of growing like that. And the team's extremely reliable. They keep their commitments. There's a respect between farmers and the team. Even the buyers, they respect us for what we do. And over the last year, even during Corona, where a lot of us were really not able to go and visit our farmers as often as we would have done otherwise, our farming community is still intact. In fact, it's just grown. We're working with way more farmers now than we were working before Corona. And I think a lot of that sort of also stems from the fact that, we were out there to make an impact and not really out there to make money. And so we made a lot of choices keeping long-term in mind. And I think that was very helpful as I see today, looking back.
It's really wonderful, and I think quite relevant to other kinds of sectors. The choices you make and the reputation that you get early in your business can either help you or hurt you further down the line. Tell me about your motivation. What drives you to run this company?
I think, like I mentioned earlier, I'm extremely passionate about organic farming. So I'd love to see more and more farmers turn organic. I'd love to see for this to become a movement. And I do understand that economics plays a very important role in this movement at the moment. And so we're doing what we can to ensure that, the movement keeps growing.
And in the 6 years you've been a part of it, have you seen momentum? Have you seen others joining this movement?
The organic space is growing significantly. I wouldn't say it's exploding yet, but I think especially because of Corona, there is so much awareness about health food, what you're eating, and I just see this space growing. I just see this consciousness growing, and so I hope that when there is more demand for good food, farmers would grow more good food, and so I do hope that this will grow.
Right. So as we close out here, I'm wondering if you have any advice for other women entrepreneurs.
Running an enterprise is like having children. You're just committed, and you really want to see your enterprise grow. So yeah, it can be very challenging, but at the same time, I know for a fact that when women are at the head of organizations, the kind of decisions that they make and the way they can impact communities is way higher. The positive impact that they can have on societies, communities is way higher. The reasons for them to make decisions are way different than why men make different decisions for similar situations. And I would love to see more and more women at the top positions in organizations. I do believe that could perhaps make the world a better place. I don't mean any disrespect for men, but I do think women think differently. They do think more we than I, and and so I would say that please continue to strive. Please continue to keep your passion alive. Please do not give up, because you're doing what you do is going to make a difference and is going to make the world a better place. So please continue to do it. It will be difficult, but please don't give up.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for sharing your journey with us today, Ekta, and best of luck with ONganic.
Thank you so much. The pleasure is all mine.